All right. Good morning. Welcome to another session with Coach Ray, the market trader, and welcome to another pre-market analysis session. Okay. So before we get started on the markets here, let's go ahead and review our risk disclosure. Okay. So we'll go ahead and start with that. Okay. So just to remind everyone that the information that I'm about to share the shoot is is not intended as investment advice, an offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, future, or fund. Um, the use of the information contained and herein is to be used at your own risk. Company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It's not for every investor, and that an investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital, and that only risk capital money that we can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security should be used when trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex. And past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right. So now that I have the risk disclosure out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the news and see what news we have in store for today that could impact the markets. Okay. So we have a durable goods report that has already reported here. We have core durable goods that reported as well. We have Schiller report coming out here in about 20 minutes. And we have consumer confidence coming out at 10 a.m. And then we have a variety of earnings reports coming out. Again, that could impact some of our markets. We have Starbucks, we have GM, I think it's Boeing. Okay, these are all markets that have the potential of adding to some volatility in the markets. And I think later this week we have the big one, all right, especially for QQQ, and that is well, tomorrow is going to be quite interesting. We have inflationary numbers, we have FOMC rate statements, and then we have Tesla earnings, we have Meta earnings. So tomorrow could be a quite a volatile day. Okay, so all right, now that we have some understanding of the news and what we have, I guess, lining up, we can go ahead and move into the actual markets. All right, so we'll go ahead and do that. And we'll open up the market platform here. All right, and we're going to start with our platform of choice here. Let's get out of replay mode. Okay, and we're going to take a look at gold. Okay, and we're going to look at it from a daily perspective to start, and then move our way down some time frames. Do a little bit of multi-time frame analysis on the market, get a sense for what the market is trying to accomplish. Let's go ahead and turn that off there for a second, and probably go ahead and turn off ADR and ASR. Don't need those at the moment. All right. So like we've been discussing, If we were to look at this chart here in this kind of frame, okay, you see that the market has been making a steady climb. Okay, every pullback has been met with buying. Right, we had a pullback here, nice engulfing candle here on a daily, a little indecision candle, and up we went. Okay, um, series of bullish candles, a bearish engulfing candle, and maybe this could follow suit here. We have now an inside candle, and this could lead potentially to an upside move. Okay, so the market on the daily chart appears to be bullish. We have I don't know, about 6,000 more buy orders than sell orders at the moment. Okay, so again, on the daily chart, it appears that we remain bullish. Okay. For our chart, we have the initial balance open here, so we'll turn that off here for a second. Now we've come into an area of support here. You can see that this area appears to be somewhat supportive. Okay. For our chart indicates we are developing, um, some bullish price action. And if we look at the volume delta, you can see that the volume delta is increasing, right? Increasing in volume, right? Right. As price is moving higher, the volume towards purchasing is also increasing. Okay. So again, another indication that we might be in for another bullish move in the gold. Okay. All right. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. This is where I start to open up some things. Okay, this is kind of the little, I guess, demand area that we created. I'm going to kind of narrow this down here a little bit, but you can see here that price has not been able to get back inside 27.35 or close back inside 27.35. Okay, well, that's an indication. That's an indication that that there are some market participants that are bullish. Okay, all right. So, and we are also above. We're also above our daily VWAP. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add my anchor VWAP right around the start of London. We're also above London. Okay, I say London, but this anchor VWAP, which I set up for the start of London. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to draw here is my fixed range volume profile. I'm going to locate the 8:30 candle from yesterday and drag that across to the close of yesterday. And you can see here that we are attempting to get above a value. Okay. If we are successful in that, then that's also, again, another indication that the bulls are picking up some steam and have the market participants to potentially drive the market back to the highs here from Monday. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing at the moment. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up initial balance. Okay, let's see, initial balance. There's our initial balance range. Okay, that's just being established here. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove this for now and add my price levels to this chart here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, so we'll go ahead and add our price levels to this chart. Okay, here are our price levels, put them up here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up now ADR. I'm going to go ahead and open up ASR here. Okay, we have both ASR and ADR up. Okay, so price is approaching our ASR level from London, and then our ADR level here. So just going to spot check some of these levels. We got 2758.6 as our ADR level. So it's so we'll adjust that a little bit. It's more like 59, and then we have 2756.9. Okay, let's see if what is that from. That's London. Okay, so 2756. We have 56 up here. I'll go ahead and modify that. Okay, so that's our average session high, and then lows we have 2728 is our average session low. And then our average daily low is 2725, right around that range. Okay, so right now, right now we're waiting for the initial balance range to establish. Okay, we're waiting for the initial balance range to establish, and see if maybe it creates an opportunity for us to take an execution. Okay, so we're kind of at an interesting area here, very near average session range highs and average daily range highs, value area lot, average daily range, or not source, value area high. Let me take a little drink of water here. My voice a little. All right. So yes, we're near value area high, also ASR high and ADR high. So does not seem unreasonable to me that we can reach either of those today, okay, before we see any sort of pullback, okay? And and if we do manage to get above them, then I would say that we would use that same level as an area of support, okay, for a continuation move, right? So right now, what I'd like to see is for price to close above. We're about 9 minutes away from this current candle. We're going to move the to the 15-minute chart here. What I'd like to see this 15-minute bar close above. Okay, that would be a good indication here for value. Okay, and we have closed above based on the 15-minute chart. Okay, and start off with that and see if we can manage to hold above. If that is the case, then I would say that, oops, that's not what I wanted to bring up. If that is the case, then we can use value area high as an area as a reference level for price continuation to the upside. Okay, so value area high will serve as this reference level here. My God, my voice is. All right. Okay, so value area high will serve as a reference level. And then assuming that we do get a break of initial balance to the upside, then I'd like to see price get above 2756.4 and hold above it, because the fact that we are close to this average session and daily range highs, it does open up the possibility maybe for a little bit of a pullback. So we have to be aware of that. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold market. So gold market appears to be bullish, but it is coming into an area where we might see some reversals potential. Okay, we're starting to see some selling wicks here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and wait for this area to establish and see. Okay, the other area that I might be interested in participating. Okay, similar to what was happened here before, is that you can see that price when it's come down to VWAP has reacted away from it. Okay, so VWAP might serve as this another area here for price. Okay, as an area for maybe an execution to the long side. Okay. Now, if we do make it below VWAP and below some of these areas, then I would say that we have maybe a possibility of retesting some of these lows here from London. Okay, because this is not a this movement here is still inside this swing here. Okay, we're still inside a bearish swing. Okay, so while while we are making newer highs, okay, it's not super directional outside of the last few candles that we received here, and the last couple of candles have been a bit mixed. Okay, we have a mix of candles here. bet- Hmm. All right, let's see. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna wait for price to kind of decide on which end of initial balance it wants to extend. Okay, is it going to extend to the downside? At which point I have value area low, VWAP as maybe potential targets. And if I get below that, then I would say that this demand zone that we created on the 4-hour chart will open up as an opportunity as a target for price. Okay. I think that's pretty much what I have for gold. Okay. And see if I can move on to the crude oil. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the crude oil chart. Again, we're going to go ahead and start with the daily chart and take a look and see what the daily chart is offering us. Okay, in the way of analysis here. Okay, so you can see here, kind of opposite to what we have been seeing in the gold, right? What indicators do I use? Really, there's only a couple, and those indicators are really mainly to arrive at reference levels. So, we'll touch on them as we do in the analysis here. Okay, so I have volume delta here on the bottom. Okay, that's one indicator, and that helps support me in arriving um, uh, at direction, momentum. Okay, volume delta here on the bottom. All right, and then I have average daily range and average session range. Okay, so average daily range and average session range offer me reference levels to support my entries and also my targets. Average daily range, average session range. And then I use some volume profile analysis, right? That helps me understand and arrive at reference levels. Sorry, guys. Kind of working through a little bit of a cold here. All right. So again, daily chart. If I'm just looking at this for the first time and just looking at the most recent price action, I would have to say that we remain in this kind of bearish tone. Right now, we have come into an area where we have the potential of seeing some buyers. Okay, so with EIA coming in tomorrow, okay, the question is, do we hold here and have price lead us up higher, okay, or do we take a swipe at maybe reaching the lows here around 70, okay? So this level right here around 73, I would say is relatively important, okay? If we manage to stay above 73, then I could see us rallying from here, okay? Because this is a point in which crude has rallied in the past, okay? Now, the question is, does it have the market participants to make that happen? Have we come into an area where buyers are saying that they would like to add to their portfolio? So far, we're seeing that we're getting about 11,000 more buy market orders than sell orders. Okay, so we'll see how this plays out. Still very much developing. Okay, 4-hour chart. Okay, we're starting to see a series of bullish candles being developed, but we really haven't broken any structure to the upside as of yet. Okay, price remains, and this is kind of where I draw my channels here. Okay, this is kind of my channel analysis where I draw some channels, and in order for me to really change my view of this kind of bearish tone that the market has made, is I need to see price get above this channel, and not just above this channel with a wick, but above this channel as in the close. Okay, I need to see price physically close above this level. Okay, let's see. Right, I need to see a candle close above like this. Okay, once I get a candle close above like this, I can use that same channel as a reference level for me to participate in a trade. Okay, then I will be looking for an opportunity that will basically reject the channel, and that should serve as a springboard for price to move higher. Okay, that would be my my bullish scenario. Okay, otherwise I have to expect, and this is kind of what's taken place so far. Every time I hit the top end of this bearish channel, it's reversed. Okay, so that's the only thing I can expect to see, unless I get an event that closes above. All right, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Here are some of the indicators that I use. Okay, here is my average session range high. Here is my average session range low. And then I use VWAP. Okay, those are my main indicators. And then I've already mentioned that I use volume delta here on the very bottom. Okay, so those are my main indicators. Now, the other thing that I use, and it's less of an indicator and more a way to view the market, and that is my fixed range volume profile. Okay, so my fixed range volume profile, I basically start with the yesterday's session. Okay, and yesterday's session starts at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So I select that and drag that across to the close of the U.S. session. Okay, and here you are. Okay, so it draws a volume profile based on that session. So this again helps me arrive at reference levels that I can use to support my trades. As an example, value area high. Okay, as long as price stays above value area high, my view on the market is bullish. Okay, my view on the market is bullish. All right. So if price manages to get inside value, then I would probably look for a bearish trade to take me all the way down to value area low. Okay. So this volume profile is more a reference level to support my risk in my trades. Okay. All right. Next indicator, I guess, of sorts that I use is initial balance. Okay. So this is initial balance range. Okay. This is something, initial balance is established in the first hour of the session. So this is going to be continuing to develop here for the next hour here before it gets established. So I use initial balance as another reference level to support my trades. All right. I'm going to go ahead and add my levels here. And then before we kind of move on to the equities, which I think is a good majority of you interested in understanding. Okay. So these are my levels that I'll be tracking in this market. Okay. So I have my average session range high. Okay. Here at 74, was it 74? It was 75 here. So we'll modify that a little bit. 74, 75. All right. And we also have our average daily range high, which is coming in at 74.93. Okay, so we'll modify this here a little bit. Okay, so this average session range high is coming in at 74.75. Modify that, 74.75. And then our average daily range high is coming in at 74.93. 74.93. Now, so the way I use the average daily range and the way I use the average session range is that they offer me targets for price movement, as well as potential areas for price reversals. Okay, so that's kind of how I use I use these levels. Okay, price targets and price areas for potential price reversal. Okay, all right. So we have our average daily range high here, and we have our average session range high. We're going to move this off to the left, get this out of the way. So right now, based on price action and based on the way price is moving, it appears to me that we are looking to head higher in this market. Okay. Now I understand that on a higher time frame, I'm still kind of in bearish structure here. Okay. If I look at this on a higher time frame, I'm still kind of in bearish structure, although I am developing a bullish engulfing candle. Okay. And the 4-hour, while showing signs of bullish behavior, really hasn't broken any structure, serious structure, to the upside. Now, if we do manage to get above 75, okay, if we do manage to get above 75, that would be my line in the sand. Okay, that would be my line in the sand to start thinking maybe more bullish in this market. Okay, if we do manage to get above some price structure here and hold above 75, that would be an area for me to really begin to embrace the longs. Okay, otherwise between now and reaching 75, I do open myself up for the possibility of sellers stepping back in the market. Okay, right, because we are still technically in bearish structure. So while I am cautiously bullish, okay, I need to see some events. And the first event that I'm going to be waiting for is to see if we do end up closing above, okay? If we do end up closing above, and this is a 30-minute chart, I still need one more candle here to establish the initial balance range. It will create an opportunity for me to maybe take a trade up to with a target of 74.75. Okay. I don't know what happened to my. Bring this down. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm looking at in the gold market, crude oil market. Sorry. Okay. So I'm going to be waiting for this initial balance range to establish. Once this initial balance range gets established, then I have maybe an opportunity. Maybe it will give me an opportunity to look for a long that will take me up to 74.74 or all the way up to 75. Okay. Once I get to that level, I have to be wary of sellers there. Okay. Right. So we'll see how this candle plays out. Looks like it does want to make that move. Okay. But I'm not going to chase. Right. I have my criteria. I need to see before I take on any sort of execution. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the equities. And the equity of choice for most is NASDAQ. Okay. So As we mentioned, we have a fair amount of earnings. We have a good amount of earnings that could potentially impact this market in particular tomorrow with Meta and Tesla reporting. Okay, so let's take a look at the daily chart. All right, daily chart. Let's remove some of our drawings here. Okay, so looking at this, okay, so we've taken a peak. We've taken a peak below 21,000, and that for now temporarily has been met with some buying. Okay, now we have an inside bearish candle. All right, developing on the daily. Right, in an otherwise swing that has a very much a bearish tone here. Right, we have a gap. Right, we have a gap here. Okay, gap. We opened with a gap yesterday. Okay, so that is indicating that we do have some bearish interest in this market, right? The fact that it opened in the gap is an indication that they couldn't get enough of what they had to pay a premium, all right, in order to get filled for on what they wanted. Okay, so there is some interest to the downside in this market. Now we've gotten a temporary kind of pullback. We gotten a temporary kind of pullback. Okay, off of these lows here. Okay, so I would say 21,000. Hey, Zunit, 21,000 is a relatively important area. Okay, right here. Right, I would say 21,000. I'm going to go ahead and mark as a area of importance. If we do manage to get below 21,000, that opens up the door for 20,000. Okay, in this market. All right. If we do hold above the 21,000, well, that could serve maybe as an area for maybe continued range price action, because that's what we've been seeing in this market of late. More range kind of price action between 22,400 down to 21,000. We can stay in this range for a while. Okay. All right. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Okay. We have a nice, strong, bullish candle that developed here at the tail end of, or maybe the beginnings of London. Oh, actually, no, this is Sunday, right? And then we had the beginning Monday was kind of a flush down, okay, right? And then we had a rally late, and we've kind of been, I guess, a little bit of a rally of late, okay? But we are still very much in this swing. So the question for us is this merely a pullback, a retracement for a continuation move to the downside? Okay? That's kind of my feeling. All right? That this is merely a retracement for another leg lower. Okay? 50% of this swing here, are you talking about? This swing, or which candle are we talking about, Zunid? Because we're already beyond the 50% of this candle. But if we can get, I think what he's alluding to is that if we can get to 50% of this candle, that would be a logical area maybe for an execution to the downside. All right, where we can manage our risk, right? So if price, the next candle can retrace and reject around 50% of this candle, I'm aligned with Zunid, and that could offer us maybe an opportunity for a continuation trade to the downside. Okay, so this is still very much developing. Okay, okay, all right. So yeah, 50% of any candle once it's established. All right. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, so moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, here we are. So we are at the edges of average session range. Okay, for London. Okay, so London drove price lower. Okay, so there is a camp that could lead us to additional move, right, this way, right, right. That's certainly not outside of the possibility for. So for Zunid, he's looking to wait for price back 50% to look for a buy. Okay. So I'm assuming that he's looking at this swing here, right? Maybe right here, maybe in this, maybe in this area right here, right? He's looking for maybe an opportunity for a buy, right? Right around 21,263. Okay. Well, we've seen areas, right? Price has come to in this area in the past and it has reversed away from it. Okay. So, certainly possible. All right. Let's go ahead and add to my charts here a little bit. I'm going to add my price levels. We're still a ways away from the market opening. Okay. We're about 18 minutes from this market opening up. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think that would be the best course of action, Stumps, is to wait for the initial balance range. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and yeah, the 61% would be another logical area maybe for potential buy. I agree. Okay. All right. Okay. So again, initial balance is still a ways away. All right. We're about 20 minutes away from this initial balance range establishing. Okay. And so right now, okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw in my fixed range volume profile. You can see how well average daily range offered us levels here, right? You see how well average daily range offered us levels. We went up to average daily range, we reversed away from it. We came back down to average daily level low, ADR low, and reversed away from it. Okay. So these levels offer us logical opportunities for price to reverse. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and oh geez. Let's go ahead and open up my fixed range volume profile. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start with Monday and Monday close. And you can see right now, okay, we are seeking acceptance of value. We are seeking acceptance of value. If we accept value, if we accept value, there's a possibility, okay, that price could traverse through the entire range of value. Now, do we have to get through this chop? Yes. Okay. If we do manage to get below, oh geez, if we do manage to get below 21,240, I would say that we have a better chance for that to happen. Okay, because having price accept value could provide us a price to rotate through value. Right? Yeah, there's a lot of price agreement at the moment. I would agree with that, Stumps. Right? We are in price agreement, which could lead to chop. I agree. Okay. All right. So best course of action right now is to wait for the open of the market. Me personally, I'm going to be waiting for the initial balance range to establish, and then at that point, decide on which direction they want to take the market. Right now, it feels like it wants to head lower. Okay. Right now, it feels like it wants to head lower. All right. But I also understand that we are coming into some areas where we've had some support in the past. Okay. If I'm bullish, if I'm bullish, I would say that I would be better served in waiting for this 21,120 level. Okay. 21,100 level. That would seem to be a much more logical risk area to support a long. Okay. don't have to take all that much risk down at these levels, right, to understand whether I'm wrong or right on that trade. And not only that, I'm in an area where I've seen some buyers in the past. Okay. Yes, this would be as Hogue would say, would be a cheap long, right? Would be a cheap long. Okay. Right now, if I'm looking at this, um, really it feels like either it's going to remain in this kind of range around this ADR 80 ASR low level, okay, bounce around here, or head lower. Okay. That's kind of my current view. If I'm long, I'm going to have to wait until price gets down to these levels below me. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the NASDAQ. All right. I think right now I'm going to wait again for the initial balance range to establish. Once I have the initial balance range established, I'll wait for the price event to indicate to me which direction they want to take the market, and then go from there. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ES. All right. We'll take a look at the ES, and we'll take a look at the daily chart. All right. We'll take a look at the daily chart here. And again, ask ourselves the question, what is the market trying to accomplish? Well, again, you can see similar to the NASDAQ, we had a gap down, right, in the market. We had a push lower met by some buyers. Okay. Now we have an inside candle with a buy with wicks on both ends. So a little bit of indecision. Now, volume delta is really not telling us much of anything. There's really no, outside of this candle that drew some interest. We really have a candle that's developing with no real clear direction. Okay, on direction. Delta is not telling us anything. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. This is going to be, I think, a little bit old here. So all right. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, again, similar to what we're seeing. Okay. Is this merely a retracement, guys? Okay. Is this merely a retracement for another leg lower? Okay. This is kind of what it feels like to me. Okay. We've come up to anchor VWAP, okay, and daily VWAP. So it feels to me that maybe this might be an area where we could potentially take an execution to the downside. Now, if price manages to get above VWAP and above my anchor VWAP that I have drawn here, then maybe there is something behind this move to the upside. Okay. But the fact that I am developing a bearish engulfing around the reference level that I care about leads me to believe that maybe there's more downside uh, opportunities here. Okay. All right. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay. 30-minute chart. Here we are. Price is below our anchor VWAP and is below our daily VWAP. Okay. But the VWAP has been kind of, I guess, sloping has been a bit flat slope, right? So we have VWAP kind of bouncing in and out below and above, right? So indication of range price action, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at our fixed range volume profile for yesterday. Drag that across to the close. Okay. Now, unlike NASDAQ, right? Price is above value from yesterday. Okay. Unlike NASDAQ, price is above value from yesterday. Now, that does not mean that we can't make a run to it. Okay. Right. This area right here could be a magnet to price. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and extend this line here if I can find the right tool. All right. So this is my value area high. Okay. This is also my ASR low. Okay, so this area in green would be a very nice area for a potential long. Okay, I say potential because I always wait for a certain set of price events to indicate to me that market participants are thinking along the same lines, right? Whether I get some sort of 3-bar reversal, a break of channel, something. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and add our levels here, price levels. All right. So let's see here. We got here. I'm going to drag this across here so it's visible. I want to add 60, 25, 75. So this is my value area low, and this is my average daily range low. It's 21. This is 20. Just kind of fixing up my my spreadsheet here, guys. Bear with me. All right. Okay, so I'm going to add 60, 25 here. 60, 25, 75 as my average session range low. Okay. All right. Get rid of this here. Don't need that. I think everybody knows I'm Ray. All right. So again, guys, this area down here would be a nice area maybe for an execution to the long side. Okay. That was maybe an area I'll be waiting for. Okay. Otherwise, I think we have a reasonable chance of getting to that level short. Okay. If we do manage to close above this VWAP, we've already gotten an anchored VWAP that's indicating bearish engulfing. We're getting a little bit of a rejection candle away, right? Didn't quite make 50% of this candle, right? This could easily offer us an opportunity here, okay? So we're about 5 minutes away from the initial balance range starting. The market is looking a bit bearish, okay? We had a nice swing to the downside. Now this looks like maybe it's more of a retracement, okay? So if I'm going to start with maybe a little bit of a Fibonacci analysis here, guys. So if I take this and move down to this, well, I see that we are retracing around, or have retraced back to the 61.8% of this swing. Okay, so this is a logical location for price to continue to the downside. Okay. Right now, we seem to be in this area of a little bit of overlapping price, okay, around VWAP. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the ES. Just going to go ahead and remove that for now. So we're at a level where we could potentially flush to the downside. It looks like it is developing a little bit of a demand zone here, though. I do see that. Okay. I do see that we are developing a little bit of a demand zone right about here. Okay. Price is having a tough time getting in and around 6,040. So if we do manage to close above, say 60, 65, or that's more of a resistance level for me. Okay. If we do manage to get above 60, 65 or 60, 72, okay, that could be the impetus for me to take in a longer. I need to see a break of structure to the upside in order for me to begin to think long. Okay. I need to see price get above 60.65. I need to see price get above 60.72, right? In order for me to really embrace a long. Now, I do see that price has come back to a level, has reacted a bit away from it, but it really hasn't made a new high, right? It reacted away from it, but did not make a new high of a triangle pattern, right? A little area of consolidation, right? So for me to really embrace a long, I need minimally to see price get above 6,065. I need to see a close above 6,065. And ideally, I'd like to close above 6,072. That could give me the evidence to support maybe a trade back up to ASR or ADR highs here that I have on the chart. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to continue to the downside. And then we have some downside targets, right? We have 6,035 or 25 here. Okay. And maybe potentially down to the low end of value at 6,013. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the ES markets. Okay. Looks like we are in a little bit of a consolidation range right now. I really need to see price give me evidence as to what direction they want to take the market. Okay. Lost my charts. Why is that? They back stumps. Okay, awesome. All right, so right now I'm going to have to be patient and wait for this initial balance range to establish. Okay, in about a minute or so. So we're going to take a quick peek at the Dow just to close out this session. Okay. All right, and we're just going to remove all our drawings here. We're going to take a look at the daily really quick. I suspect that's going to tell us much of the same. Now, the Dow has been a little bit different than the others. Okay. We did not get any sort of gap open or gap down or gap up, right? The Dow seems to be in a steady climb. Okay. Seems to be in a steady climb, right? Unlike the other equity markets. Okay. So we have the daily chart indicating bullish behavior. We have the 4-hour chart also giving us a similar kind of look and feel. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. The 30-minute chart, we're just about ready to establish our initial balance range. There it is. Okay. There's the beginnings of our initial balance. Okay. And we just finished closing a bullish engulfing candle. Okay. And that has broken. I'm not sure it has broken, but not quite. Okay. Broken some has not quite broken some structure to the upside, and now it's been met with some sellers. Okay. Now the question is this merely just to maybe a liquidity grab, pick up some additional liquidity to drive price higher? We'll have to see. Okay, to see if we do manage to close above here in the next 30 minutes. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and draw in my fixed range volume profile. Okay, we'll have, let's see, right about here. Let's see, drag that across to here. Okay, so you can see that price. I guess the Dow is, I guess, most aligned with the ES. I guess in the sense that it is showing us signs that maybe it's a bit more bullish. I would say of the three equity markets, Nasdaq appears to be the most bearish. I'm not sure exactly how it's behaving at the moment, but when we looked, it appears that that's the most bearish. I would say that the Dow is probably the most bullish of the three equity markets. Okay. So let's see. We got let's go ahead and add our anchored VWAP. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and start this at the start of London, which is right about here. So you can see that price is hovering around VWAP, but it's been hovering around VWAP of late. So it's kind of an indication of rangy kind of price action. I would say that really need to get above 44,950 in order to really entertain any sort of longs. And I would say that basically we need to make either a new high or a new low, okay, to really embrace direction here, okay. So that's kind of what I have for the markets today. Was going to spend a little bit of time here and just kind of describe. We do have Super Chat set up here. Okay, we do have Super Chat available here to kind of offer some support for my continued. It took off right at the open. Let's take a look at what NASDAQ has done. Let's find my charts. It took off right at the open. Okay, let's see. Took off to the downside. Yeah. So, like I said, this market is probably the most bearish of all the equity markets. Now, right? So yeah. So, like I said, Dow is the most bearish. ES and the YM are the most. Well, actually, they're looking a little bit bearish as well at this point. Okay, we're seeing a little bit of a break below this triangle pattern that I have established, but it is coming into a consolidation area. Okay, all right, guys. Well, that's it for me. I need to take care of my voice here. It's about to go, so I'm gonna go get some hot tea and see if I can get my voice restored here. Yes, and we'll leave you to the markets. Okay, and thank you, Stubbs. Okay, so trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. So I hope you enjoyed the complimentary session, analysis session that I provided here to you today. Don't be shy with the super chats. Yeah, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader, guys. Have a good day, and see you either in the coach's room or later today in group coaching. All right, guys, have a good day, and we'll talk soon.